To me, the resonance means everything gathered to be now. And this particular concert I wanted to do was to not just to show, but go through my own training to find who I am right now. That was actually very much the theme of my whole concept is onko chishin. That means learning, finding new by learning old master's work. Last year, when I was writing a speech for my mentor Yuriko, who received the Japanese Foreign Ministers Award, she studied dance in Japan and she came to US. She studied with Martha, and she's the beautiful mixture between the Japanese pioneer of modern dance and American pioneer of modern dance, and she has best of two worlds. I wanted to do American side, I wanted to do Japanese side, I wanted to do both culture and both culture of dance together. That maybe 1950s in America was this way and 1950s of Japan is this way. So I don't want to be like a history class, but I wanted to show the beautiful part of both worlds, and that was the first idea. The other idea was dance history, kind of chronological idea with the jazz music idea, since I asked Cindy to play. So I'll be dancing satiric, Cindy will be playing, I'll dance Limon, he'll play again. But I wanted to do with this history of jazz reflected to what I'm dancing. So we tried different things, but somehow that didn't work. 1930s, the jazz music was a little bit too much of like sentimental journey or something to provoke people's what is the word? To make you happy, because it was coming out from the depression. So it was bubbling, and it wasn't fit with my dancing, those 5 pieces. So we have to switch the idea of this jazz music reflection towards my dancing. So we change it to a reflection of what I'm dancing that Sandy would play. What he get inspired by my dancing is what he's going to play. And in the end, he play, I dance, so we meet in the end. As a dancer in the Graham Company, I wanted to do Martha's work, but not the people's first idea of Martha Graham, which is dramatic and strong, because she had a very mischievous part of it, so I wanted to show that. Costume for satiric, of course, Martha had this idea of Native Americans, and it really has a very interesting stripes, and that costume actually limits you to move, and that's actually a very struggle inside. It's very heavy wool, but because of that struggle, I think it comes out the fight. That's a kind of feisty part of Martha, I'm sure, but that piece works with that struggle, because satiric festival song, you are kind of laughing at the audience, laughing at you. So it's like a double meaning. because I get to feel, Martha's work 1930s or 40s, even 50s, 60s. When I dance, I always, of course, you dance as a actor or dancer treating the dance, but I always felt thinking about what she was thinking when she choreographed this or she danced, or that's always in my part of my head. Of course I have to go through research who this person is or who I think she is, or that's my research, but I think it's great to go back to, there's just so many beautiful things that this generation doesn't have, and I want that to be seen. There's the only way that we can see is somebody performing it too. So I wanted to do that. This particular piece, Limon choreographed for women. Limon is very famous with his men's pieces, but this is, I think, the only piece that he choreographed for women, and I thought that was very interesting. I wanted to show something strong about Limon, and I really think the Limon is strong, dramatically, movement-wise, and very powerful. But that. So I thought I'd like to do that, and then I remember that piece, Dances for Isadora, and Isadora Duncan was a very strong woman, and I thought that was very interesting that he choreographed about Isadora with the women's piece. So I asked Carla if she can work with me, because the section that Carla was in original was called Main It. The third piece I'm going to do is Martha Clark's piece, and I believe this particular piece, Nocturne, is kind of, to me, the beginning of dance theater or theater dance, or whichever you can call, that has so much acting in it, not just dancing, but acting, in a different way of Martha Graham dancing and acting. And Nocturne is romantic tutu, the long tutu, which I only had one performance when I was 14 years old that I did on point. I shouldn't say it was on point because it wasn't. I couldn't even get up on point, but I performed it anyway. I had this purple romantic tutu, and I always loved ballet, but I'm not a ballet dancer, so.
I didn't show it to anyone, and it opened at the Place des Arts in Montreal to 3,000 people. And the audience laughed so hard I couldn't hear the music, and I thought I was doing this deep, sad farewell. But people, when I did it, people found it very comical, although some people I could hear saying, "shh," in the audience.
Too tight? Like, is it
No,
going
that's
into
fine.
your skin?
I think that's
I
because
think
when
it's
I'm
fine.
dancing, actually, I mean, this is terrible, but when I'm dancing,
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Totally. And this looks much cleaner now, right?
Yeah.
It was wrinkly.
I'm making my own piece, which is going through my relationship with my mother. Probably you don't see it that way, but within myself, I'm going through small things with my mother. Yeah. She lives in my memory. I don't have her around me, so I always... It's actually interesting because she's gone and she's actually closer to me now than before. Because every time I think she's right here in my mind. The second part of my piece, the music is by Janice Ian. She is singing in this song called I Hear You Sing Again. It's actually the lyrics are by Woody Guthrie. When he died, this poem he wrote was there, so Woody Guthrie's daughter asked Janice Ian to make a song, and she did, and it's about his mother. Had a friend Mitsuno Yoko. She was a fashion designer, and she passed away a few years ago. And she left a lot of clothes, and she was a very small lady. She's actually smaller than me. And her clothes is so beautiful. So Karen picked was all Yoko's clothes. I think he has a very sensitivity, and he has a very interesting way of mixing ballet, gram, limon. I thought that he had many different training, but without showing off the training. So I thought that was a great mixture. So I asked him, and so that's why I decided to. And then he was very great to work with.
The first rehearsal, he makes sounds, bubble sounds. So I wrote down in Japanese. That's a knack for understanding him.
The lighting designer, he sort of contextualized the piece a lot, and it sort of clarified the tone of the music and the tone of the piece. And he said that he wanted to light it as if she were in a space and the light was coming through windows, and it wasn't from an actual space, light coming in the space, but from another space outside. And that idea sort of contextualized the piece because it made me think that it was about observing someone who is going through sort of the memory and having an experience, but they're not aware that somebody is also witnessing that personal moment for them.
And his movement is really, really beautiful to work in and get to know, and in a different way that we work in gram, because in the gram, of course, you have a theme and role or parts that you go into deep to find who you are, and I felt same way in Adam's piece. But it's actually me, not Medea, not Jocasta, not the chorus person, or these other parts, but Adam's piece is to finding who I am. So I thought that was very interesting. Research, but I think it's great to go back to, there's so many beautiful things that this generation doesn't have, and I want that to be seen, and there's the only way that we can see is somebody performing it too. So I wanted to do that. So that's my future goal. それで 写真撮るのパチってやってみるとそれなら
Outtakes.
All right, number 3.
My favorite part of the piece is probably the ending, when everything is finished and you kind of sit there. I almost said something really cheesy, that you sit there and it's resonating.
This is my musician friend Sandy's P-chan piece. Since I had that injury, one time I was dancing and torn my calf muscle, so I always had that trauma. I did it in Penitente, in the apple dance, and I was looking at Anne, who was stage managing, and Janet was looking. I go, aren't you supposed to close this? They didn't, so I finished it. Oliver was dancing with me, and he's like, something is going on. But Maurizio didn't know.
Oh yeah.
He was behind the sail. So, in the end, you walk, and I get the mask from Maurizio. I said, I can't jump. He was like, what?
Look at Miki, I found this shirt today and it matches your dress.
Yes.
Should I wear this?
Oh my god.
Should I wear this?
Yeah, why not?
You like it?
Yeah.
I also really like how, because the
That's with
music
the
is
house
different
manager.
every
She will
time,
be here at 5:30, I believe.
that
5:30.
sometimes the piece
She
changes.
turn the lights on, the work lights on.
It's very loud in here. Lots of chaos. Could try that one again, now that no one's talking. I was going to say that it's really fun to watch the piece with new music every single time because it changes the piece. It's always a different
Well, this is unique.
experience.
Did you envision that initially when you first started to do?
No, because that was Miki's decision to have Senri create music. And
Because there's like an inherent built-in improv to it.
yeah, I think it's interesting.
Because I don't think he ever plays it the same.
No, I think there are certain melodies and certain things that he has in his back pocket, but he also knows the piece really well, so he...
Maybe a duet next time.
Yeah, it's like, well... I
He
think
and Miki can
It is
dance.
like a duet. They are sort of working off of each other, so that's really fun to listen to.
Of course, my mother. Without my mother, I'm not here. Of course, Yoriko. My father. Actually, I wanted to have a lot of people. All my dance teachers, all my life teachers, and all these people that helped me, that I'm here now. I really wanted to thank them. So, everybody.